Ladies and gentlemen, it's my honor now to ask a dear friend to come up and speak with you this evening, Ambassador Strommen, Norwegian Ambassador. Please welcome him.
Thank you very much, Jenna, and thank you very much for including us in this dinner tonight. Well, you know, I don't know if this was just by coincidence, but there is an old Nordic, at least, or Norwegian tradition that you have to get up and say thank you very much for the food. And particularly if you sit next to the host, it is your humble duty to do so. I don't know if that comes as a surprise for many foreigners, because we speak a lot and we go on for a long time. We can be quiet for a while, but you have to remember that distances were great in Norway and the weather was always bad. So when first someone gave you the floor, you really were going to take it for a long, long time. But I promised I will not take the rest of the evening. I just want to say a few words of appreciation, not only for being invited here tonight together with my wife Cecilia, who sits over there, but also some words of appreciation for the Rumi Forum, which is actually performing an increasingly serious task. I mean, there is a light touch to it when you see videos, but behind this there is an intense seriousness, because it's this kind of work that we need in the world that we live right now. This is actually one of the most burning issues of our times, and we all have our roles to play in this. We were reflecting about this at the table when over dinner here. I can remember the first mosque being built in my country that I now represent. I remember it being built. We thought of it as a kind of a prayer house, which is probably fairly accurate, kind of a prayer house. And there were many, many prayer houses in Norway. I grew up in them, so why not? But we were 95% Lutherans, and the rest were other kinds of Protestants. And then we had about 1,000 Jews and a handful of Muslims. That was all. It has changed a bit, but I still represent probably one of the most homogeneous states in the world. We are probably still at least 80% Lutheran, and I'd say 90%, almost 90% Protestant. So we need to meet things like this. We need to participate in the Rumi Forum. It's been my privilege to be here a couple of times, and I'm more than willing to come back. In America, there is an expression which is kind of a bit strange to us, and this is no offense to the Americans that are in the room, but sometimes in America they say with a sort of a positive spin that you don't wear your religion on your sleeve. That's hard to translate into Scandinavian languages. And it really, in a way, doesn't make sense in our tradition. I can understand it makes sense in the American tradition, but we actually do wear our religion on our sleeves, and we're kind of proud of it. That doesn't mean that you're not tolerant and open to all other religions, and should not only through dialogue, but also through actually respect, and as you relate to them in any human activity. You should take these things to heart. I, for instance, represent a country that has a state religion. You know, we are evangelical Lutherans. It's the first paragraph in the Constitution. It says that, and if the king changes his religion, it's the same as an abdication. We will have to say goodbye to him. So we all come from strange and different backgrounds. We have our peculiarities. We would never have come up with these things today, but this is our heritage. So it's wonderful and it's great to meet someone else who comes from a completely different perspective, which I have not only all the respect for in the world, but also would like to learn more about and participate in the great undertakings that you have started. As I said, this is what the world needs. This is what the world needs, and I'm very happy, and I pay tribute to the fact that the Rumi Forum is really doing their bit to this. Turkey, a very fascinating country, very large by our scale, playing an increasingly important role. Keep up this good work. Take on board all the rest of us. thank you very much for your hospitality, your compassion, and your generosity, and for including us in this iftar dinner. It actually means a lot to it. We do recognize that it's the kind of generous expression of sort of friendship that it is. So on behalf of all the guests, thank you very much.